All right, in problem number 3, we have this sort of triangle of numbers here. And you can see the pattern. We have the first row is 1, and then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So each consecutive row has 2 more numbers in it, right? And they're kind of arranged in a triangle like this. And we're asked to figure out what number is directly above 142 in this array of numbers. Okay? So you can see like 7 is directly above 13, and 4 is directly above 8. So if we were to list out all these numbers, they're asking what number is directly above 142. Well, all right. Well, my hint to you is take a look at this triangle and look for patterns in the numbers. Okay, like for example, you know, if you look at any column of numbers and you look at the difference between the consecutive numbers, we add 2 to get 3. Here, this is 4 more to get 7, and this is 6 more to get 13. And it works for any of the columns, really. Any number in this second column, if we add 4 to it, we'll get the third column, right? Because this is also a difference of 4, and this is also a difference of 4, okay? And same way here, this is always a difference of 6 between these numbers, so we can tell that, this would have to be 14, because 8 plus 6 is 14, which is also the number right after 13, so that's good. So take a look at this and look at the patterns in the numbers. You might also look at the diagonals, like for example here we're adding 1. Here we're adding 3, right? And here we're adding 5. Look at that, it's odd numbers. So what do you bet if we add 7? Would this be 17 over here? So, well, we could test that, right? We got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then we would have 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, right? That would be the, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth row would look like that. Probably the key thing to notice is that the numbers on this diagonal, again, they're also, this is 3, 5, 7, 9. Now the difference are odd numbers, but look at them. 1 is 1 squared, 2 is 2 squared, 9 is 3 squared, 16 is 4 squared. So they appear to be the squares of the numbers. And that's helpful because you can look at the squares of the numbers. So they sure look like the squares. And if you happen to know that whenever you add odd numbers, so 1 plus 3 is 4, right? 1 plus 3 plus 5 is equal to 9. The sum of any consecutive odd numbers starting with 1 is always a square. 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 is equal to 16. So, and one little, this is kind of an aside, but one little sort of visual proof of that is if you were to look at, for example, here's a 1 by 1. Okay, you could imagine that's a square. Okay, I'm just going to use a little dot instead. Here's a 2 by 2. Alright, and to get that 2 by 2 array of dots, we have to add 3 more. You see that? What if we do a 3 by 3? Okay, now we still have the 2 by 2 in there, but we had to add 5 dots to get it to be a 3 by 3. So you can kind of notice here's the 3, here's the 5, and so on. I could go on to a 4 by 4, right? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I still have the 3 by 3 in there, right? Here's the 3 by 3. And how many do we have to add? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we added 7 more to get 16. So anyway, that's just an interesting thing. But there is a pattern here on this right-hand side diagonal. Now I would guess the next one here would be 36, right? And this would be 35. Now does that work out? If we put, let's see, this would be 25, this would be 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, and 34. So hey, we get another square, right? So if you figure that out, that this right-hand side diagonal is always the square. Let me see if I can mark that. This is always going to be a square. We can just look at the squares and try to figure out where we're at, okay? So, oops. All right, so let's do that. Let's look at the next, let's think about here. We're trying to figure out what number is above 142. So I could list out all the squares, but I know, like for example, 10 squared is 100, 11 squared is 121, and 12 squared is 144. Now 144 is really close to 142. If we were to look at that row in this array, we'd have 143 right in front of 144, we'd have 142 right before that, and we could figure out what the row above would look like, because 11 squared would be here, 121. I'm actually going to erase these so I don't get confused. So what number would be right above 142? It would be 120. Okay? So we did that by, okay, so a perfect square is 144. We go two back from that, we get 142, which is the number we're trying to figure out what number's above it. The row above would end with 11 squared, and so we go one back from that, and we get that 120 is right above 142 in this array. So we didn't have to list them all out. That would take a while. The key is recognizing that this right-hand side of the triangle is all squares. So there you go. The answer is 120.